are you?
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Ferndale City Council meeting for Monday, October 9th, 2017. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Barb, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Pollica. Piana.
Here.
Leaks May.
Here.
Mayor Coulter.
Here, thank you. Councilman Pollica is actually en route from the airport, so we hope to see him shortly, depending on traffic. Next item of business would be the approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
I'd like to make an amendment, a friendly amendment, if I may. I'd like to switch the order of presentation so that the police sergeant promotions is presentation A, C-Click Fix is presentation B, and then I would like to add presentation C, the Downtown Development Authority.
Is that
I
acceptable amendment?
That is acceptable amendment.
All right.
Support.
Awesome. All right. Any other comments on the agenda? Moved by Piana and supported by Leaks May. All right. Barb, would you call the roll, please?
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Leaks May.
Yes.
Piana.
Yes.
Mayor Coulter.
Yes, thank you. The agenda is adopted. Moving on now to call to audience. And this is your opportunity for those of you who are with us here in person to address council on any issue that you would like. That's not on the agenda, because you could speak to that when we get to that portion of the agenda. But is there anyone here that would like to address council during call to audience this evening? All right. I'm seeing none. We'll move on to the next item of business, which is presentations. And as Councilman Martin said, we have 3 of them this evening. And we'll start with a very exciting presentation, which is our police sergeant promotions. Chief Collins and Captain Palazzola.
Thank you, Mayor Coulter. Good evening. Tonight, I have the honor of presenting our newest police sergeant. Unlike the introduction of a brand new police officer, this person is well known to many in our community. I'd like to ask Officer Janessa Danielson to step forward to the dais.
Awesome.
That's great.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
For those of you who don't know her, I would like to give you a brief pedigree. Janessa is a Ferndale High School grad. She attended Michigan State University. Go Green. And she graduated with a criminal justice degree from Wayne State University. She has applied for the master's program at Wayne State as well. Janessa was hired by the Ferndale Police Department in 2005 and worked in the patrol division until she was appointed to the school resource officer position in 2012. School Resource Officer Danielson worked tirelessly in the SRO position for the past 5 years, earning the trust of the students, the faculty, the administration at the Ferndale Public Schools. She has mentored many students, particularly those in the early college program where she took a leadership role. Janessa is the local coordinator for the Special Olympics torch run each year, and she is also a member of the Ferndale Police Honor Guard. In my career, I have had the joy of watching new police officers graduate from the police academy and then present them to the community. But presenting a newly minted command officer is special. The years of hard work and commitment it takes to become a sergeant is daunting. Not only for you, Janessa, but for your family. This moment did not come easy. It came with a lot of devotion, a lot of experience, a lot of constant learning and constant improving. You have set your sights on this position, and you have worked for it incessantly, and now you have achieved this goal. I want to thank you for your commitment, and I want to thank your family as well. And that isn't even the hard part. The hard part starts now. Remember, everything we do as police officers will be scrutinized by the public that we serve. As a command officer, this will still occur, but your decisions will also be scrutinized by the people you command and the people that command you. You will make the first call at 3 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody else there. You will make the first call when the lives of your officers or the lives of the citizens are at risk. And as a bonus, everyone will get an opportunity to second guess your first call in the comfort of their office chair the next day. That would be me. Remember that these stripes on your sleeves may look impressive, but the respects and the confidence of your officers must be earned. Remember that your ego can be your worst enemy. And remember where you came from, and that humility can be your best friend. Always keep the public trust in your heart and never let them down. Always keep your family in mind and go home safely at the end of each day. And it doesn't hurt to have a healthy sense of humor as well. What I am asking of you now is to always do the right thing. It may sound simplistic, but I want you to be the leader that I know that you can be. Officer Danielson has asked her husband, Tom, who happens to be a newly promoted sergeant with the Beverly Hills Police Department, to pin her badge on.
Awesome. Oh, that's fabulous. That's awesome.
Captain Palazzolo will now call attention to orders.
Attention orders. The Chief of Police in the City of Ferndale, State of Michigan, United States of America, has placed special trust and confidence in patriotism and integrity and abilities of Officer Janessa Danielson. In view of these special qualities, their demonstrated potential to serve in the higher grade, Officer Janessa Danielson is promoted to the permanent rank of Sergeant effective October 2nd, 2017, by order of the Chief of Police, the Ferndale Police Department.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations. Nice job.
A great start.
That's awesome. All right, meeting adjourned. That's no, congratulations, Sergeant Danielson.
Yes.
We look forward to a continued successful career at the Ferndale Police Department. Thank you. And thanks for your family for being out here as well. You know, it's a difficult job that truly requires the support of your husband and your family to do it successfully. And so you guys are just as big a part of this as she is. So thanks for being here and being a part of it with us and sharing your daughter with us as well. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. So our next presentation is our Assistant City Manager on the SeeClick Fix Ferndale mobile app. Joe.
That is pretty great.
I think Chief Collins just set me up to follow that.
I know, right?
Well, I was excited to announce this. I am excited to announce
It's still
this.
exciting.
The city is launching, I'm happy to report, our first mobile application tonight. The mobile application is part of City Council's strategic objective, objective number 5.4, to deliver improvement on customer service requests. They wanted us to improve and modernize the way we handle processing customer service requests. And so this is part of critical success factor, organizational and financial excellence. So the way we did this is we partnered with a company called SeeClick Fix, and we worked with them to create a mobile app, the city's first mobile app called My Ferndale. And so the city worked with them and our public relations partners to create a video for the public that demonstrates how to use the app, and we're going to show the public tonight how to do so. We're going to be launching this video, which is only 90 seconds. through our communications channel, using our communications director. We're also going to be putting this on the city's cable station and repeating it publicly. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to learn how to download this.
There's a new way to talk to the city. It's as easy as tapping your screen. Introducing My Ferndale, powered by SeeClick Fix. You can use SeeClick Fix My Ferndale to report the issues you care about directly to the city of Ferndale. Here's how it works. Find and download the free SeeClick Fix app in your Android Google Play or Apple App Store. It will automatically bring up the Ferndale version based on your location. To easily report issues, start by uploading or taking a photo. The app will know where and when you took it. Next, make sure the location is correct. The app will automatically use your current location, or you can choose a different one. Finally, select a service from the list of choices. If someone has already reported the same issue at the same location, the app will let you know. Voila! Your issue has been reported. Use the app's Profile tab to keep track of the issues you've reported and check progress and updates. You can also access other helpful pages and services, find parking, pay your water bill, and more on the app's home screen. Ferndale is listening. What will you report?
So a couple things. The app is free to download. It is available on both platforms, both Android and both Apple. The app does sit on top of a website presence too. So if you don't want to use your mobile app, you can sit down at your laptop or your computer at home as well. And we've made it even easier. We've installed a shortcut on the city's website. So if you log into ferndalemi.gov and you just go to the Contact Us and hit 311, you can submit an issue directly right here. Here's a map of Ferndale, and if you submit an issue within the red box of Ferndale, if you know the address, that's great. You just type it in right here. If you don't know the address, that's okay too. Just drag this red dot wherever you are.
That's cool.
And it'll find the nearest location. You click Next, and you select your category. If you don't see your category, we do have a general Other. You then just describe your concern, your issue. You can upload a picture to support your issue, whatever it might be, and then that's sent to the appropriate department. The great thing about the mobile app, what we wanted to do was give an opportunity to, one, give the citizen an opportunity to directly engage with our staff in the field, and it does that. So this doesn't require the citizen to call City Hall and wonder who to reach anymore. Now, if you want to report a call about a tree limb or about roadkill, for instance, you might not have to wonder who solves that problem. You just select your issue, and then it solves it for you because we've already routed that workflow for you. You don't even have to worry about that. And then you have a direct dialogue with the caseworker for you in the field. And so we've already routed the workflow. We've been testing this internally. And so we've included the other category because you might not see your issue in the first in this first release. We have provided a limited number of issues at the beginning because this is a new technology for our workforce too. So we encourage the public to exercise patience as we introduce this new technology to the workforce. But we do plan on expanding our releases, or our issues in phased releases over the next year. So you can keep using the app and you'll see different issues expand throughout the year. The second benefit is data. We all know that I love data. Well, right now we don't have a real ability to collect the data and to show the data on the work that we actually do. And we do quite a diverse range of work from our citizens. We receive a lot of different service request types on a day-to-day basis from our citizens. So what this allows us to do is show the outputs of that work on a day-to-day basis. This is just a snapshot of the last 20 days. We've soft launched this since July, and this is just a couple of the different types of issues that citizens have been reporting over the last 20 days throughout the city. So now we can kind of show what kind of issues are people reporting, where they're reporting them about, and we can better identify patterns better. We can better identify outputs better for council. So this is really going to be helpful when we report back on our service outputs throughout the quarter and throughout the year. So from a transparency perspective, this is going to be a great tool. And this should hit on City Council's strategic objective of modernizing our customer service request system. Are there any questions from City Council on the mobile app. And if you were wondering about the polos that were sitting on your chair,
Yeah.
that was also it's symbolic to directly connect you with the tool that you're engaging directly with your workforce now, City Council as elected body. You see the logo, which is a MEP pin, and a wrench, which is symbolic of the work that we're doing in the field, and the tool of the
Thank you
application
for
itself.
explaining that. Yes.
That is the My Ferndale logo.
Joe, this is wonderful, and I hope that every citizen grabs this app. It will modernize the way we communicate issues with the city, and I'm very excited about it. I had a question about, on the last slide you said you could pick other and put some other kind of
Sure.
issue in there. I can imagine that people could put an issue in there that's not directly a city function. We don't do animal control, for instance, anymore, so that would be a county function or a health department function or somebody else's responsibility. How will those things get managed? Is there a general person that'll sort of steer you in
so
other directions?
We have issue gatekeepers, if you will, and those issue gatekeepers have been trained to respond to those type of service requests.
Okay.
So our issue gatekeepers understand who does respond to those service issues
Okay.
and who to redirect those service requests to. There's an education opportunity for the public, too, because the public might not understand that Oakland County provides the animal control services. And so we're there to bridge that gap with MDOT and with Oakland County, and we provide the direct connect to DTE to submit those lighting concerns where the city can't necessarily fix the light on a DTE pole, but we can help you directly find how to contact DTE directly where you might not have been able to know how to find that portal. So to summarize, the residents now can you can submit tickets directly to the city using your smartphone, using your website, or if you want, come into City Hall, have a conversation with us. But we are telling our staff to enter tickets on your behalf. So we're telling our staff we want to collect data, we want to formalize how we do it and standardize it through one system, so our staff know that when you come and visit us at City Hall and you have something to report about a tree or about another issue, we're going to be entering this ticket on your behalf. And you can do that anonymously, or you can create an account with SeeClickFix, and you can create a history, and SeeClickFix encourages that because they encourage civic points, and you can become the civic captain.
Through the chair,
Yeah.
just sort of building off of that too, if any resident emails city council member requesting support and we send it on to city staff, they also enter it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So residents still can just email us as well.
Yes.
Well, the convenience of this is going to be wonderful. I'm a little sheepish because last week I literally took a picture and sent it to Jordan of an issue that should have been through the app, Jordan, so I apologize. Next time I'll okay. The convenience is going to be wonderful. And the data collection, I'm excited to see just what is the extent of some of the calls that we get and where they're at. So
Should be good. It's a living, breathing report.
truly,
Published for transparency purposes every day.
yep.
You submit a ticket, it's right there.
So, Kira, it's on you to promote the heck out of it because everyone could use this that has a smartphone. That's great.
Through the chair, so this
Yes.
is available to use right now.
Right now, you can download it right now. Just go to the Apple Store or the Android Google Play Store and search for SeeClickFix. You download SeeClickFix, and it's going to recognize you're in our zip code, and it's going to automatically route you to My Ferndale.
Excellent.
Dan, you look like you have a...
I just something you triggered, if I may, through the chair. So it's going to recognize me by my zip code. Is that going to be by the location services off my phone?
Yes.
So I need to physically be in Ferndale in the zip code when I download the app in order to be related to the city.
Or you can download the generic SeeClickFix app, and you would have to choose
Okay.
to search for Ferndale, Michigan.
So
Yes.
don't do it while I'm up in Birmingham. Not that I go to Birmingham that often.
If you're in Birmingham, you'll have to search for Ferndale,
Okay.
but then you wouldn't be reporting on a Ferndale issue if you're in Birmingham.
No, I understand, yeah.
Yeah,
But just
yeah.
to download the app, I'm
Yep.
thinking. Okay,
Yep.
thank you. This is great.
Good point.
All right. Any other questions? Thanks, Joe.
Sure.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And finally, our third presentation. Cindy is here from our Downtown Development Authority to update us on all things DDA.
Absolutely. Good evening, and thank you for adding me at the last minute like this. I really wanted just to come up and talk about our really cool business community and something that they did that was extraordinary. Back on the Thursday of Labor Day weekend, our DDA board chair, who also owns Dino's and Embrew, Dean Bach, texted me bright and early in the morning and said, we need to do a fundraiser for Hurricane Harvey relief. So as we talked about it and texted back and forth, we thought we really would like to target the money, the funds that we raise, towards other downtowns and small businesses and really help those people get back on their feet, because we realize how vital they are to a community. So we started communications with Main Street Oakland County, as well as the National Main Street, who put us in touch with Texas Main Street. And as we were finalizing details on exactly where our funds would go, we had 26 businesses that jumped on board and pledged a portion of their sales for Saturday, September 9th, or the proceeds on the sales of a certain item, held raffles, and did all sorts of things. And although we're still waiting for some of the final numbers, we've raised somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000 to help out these communities.
That's great.
That's great.
This is a Saturday and a time when business is typically a little bit slower. It's people are going back to school. The summer holidays are over, and so businesses are slower and money is a little bit tighter. But these generous businesses really wanted to help out their fellow downtowns and small business owners. So we have been in touch and have picked 2 communities, 2 downtowns in Texas to help out, both with kind of different projects. Cuero, Texas has got a population of just over 6,000, and they really wanted help. They wanted to build that sense of community again and really build up community spirit, as well as drive some traffic and some sales by continuing to hold an event that they had planned. So we're going to help them with funds to put on this community event to bring people to their downtown and kind of give a little shot in the arm and a boost to everybody that's been working so hard to recover from this. And then the second town is LaGrange. If you're a ZZ Top fan, they wrote a song called LaGrange, and that is about LaGrange, Texas. It's also apparently the town where the musical and the movie The Best Little House in Texas is about.
Best little what? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we are helping them. We're teaming with their Rotary, who is going to fill the gap. But the money that we send them is going to pay the utility bills for the businesses that are impacted, so that they don't have to concentrate on those, but they can keep the power and the lights on and the water flowing while they get their businesses back up and running. So I just wanted to read the names of these businesses who jumped in. We have businesses who've been here forever to businesses that literally just opened their doors. So it was 3 Winks, Big B Ferndale, the Candlewick Shop, the Conserva, Danny's Irish Pub, Dino's, who actually was closed for remodeling, and they opened and did a party on their back patio for that day. The Emery and Soul Yoga, Future Laser, Tiger Tattoo, Go Comedy, House Bayou, Imperial, Jay's Penalty Box, MC Witches, Embrew, Modern Natural Baby, Port, Public House, Revel Bar, the Rust Belt Market, Second Base, Snap Fitness, Sneakers Pub, Valentine Distilling Company, Woodward Avenue Brewers, and Yoga Home Ferndale.
That's great.
And in addition, Renaissance Vineyard Church also has an online fundraising, and they dedicated anybody that pledged that day, they dedicated that money to the cause as well.
That's awesome. We have a great business community.
We absolutely do. And
that's amazing.
And these guys, their generosity just is overwhelming, and it's such a pleasure and an honor to really be able to work with these really cool people. So
that's great.
I just wanted to make sure that everybody really knew how great they were. And if you're feeling hungry or feeling like a laugh or feeling like buying something or getting a tattoo, these are great places to spend your money.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that forward, too, and making us aware.
If I may, through the chair, while you're up there, you have an event coming up before we meet again, so I don't know if you want to mention that, Fido?
Sure. We actually, Fido Does Ferndale is the third Thursday, October 19th. It'll be centered at what used to be Schiffer Park at 9 Mile Planavon. We'll be doing the canine treasure hunt again, the pooch parade, dog contests, and we have lots of vendors and fun stuff going on, and that's from 5 to 8 on Thursday, October 19th. And we're also gearing up for Small Business Saturday and the Holiday Ice Festival and all the stuff that comes with that. So we'll have more information next month for you on that.
Thanks. Thank you,
Thanks.
Cindy. Appreciate it. All right, that concludes our presentations. Next item of business is a public hearing, and the public hearing is going to be on the R3 zoning map amendment for East Bennett Street and the R3 zoning on East Bennett, the text amendment. that is in your packet. And so, Jordan, you can introduce that item?
Sir, hi,
Thanks.
Council. Good evening. Mayor's correct. Essentially, what we're talking about here is another deliverable in the city's master plan. So this has been sort of an open question for some time now. It was taken up by the Planning Commission and unanimously approved this past September 6th. But again, it's 15 parcels on East Bennett, essentially from Wanda to West End, and the goal would be to transition this from an R1 single-family residential to an R3, where single-family would still be permitted, but it would also allow for developments such as compact apartments, which were proposed on one of the parcels in that area. This is sort of in keeping not only with the future land use map and the master plan, but sort of the common practice of creating a buffer between residential, and you've got the rail corridor to the west, and you've got the commercial corridor to the south. So it creates sort of a transitional buffer that allows for different types of development, different housing typologies as called for by the master plan, but creates that space between heavy activity and single-family residential.
All right, so with that introduction, I'm going to open it up because this is a public hearing, and so I want to give the public an opportunity to address council on this item. So let's open the public hearing, and I'll ask if there's anyone here that would like to address council on this rezoning request. All right. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And now I'll open it up to council to ask you for comments, questions, or a motion, whatever is your preference.
If I may, through the chair, I
Yeah.
do want to point out, and it's in the minutes in our packets, but at the public hearing at the Planning Commission, there was one resident that showed up and expressed concern over the placement of the dumpster and traffic and parking and just the concerns over the impact of the overall neighborhood. We had instructed staff to reach out to the developer to get the developer to talk to the neighbors, although my understanding is they are the neighbors of that property as well, but to talk to the other neighbors not abutting their properties. And I have full faith that they'll do that. But I just wanted to mention that resident came to the Planning Commission to mention that, and she just had some concerns.
Yep.
So.
And this, so as you allude to, this was at the Planning Commission?
Correct, and we
it passed
unanimously.
6-0?
Yep. Yeah, I think any concerns can be overcome by just conversation and working it through. For that space, there's an empty lot there now that makes what's being requested makes sense to me. It's a nice transition.
Through the chair?
Yes.
I was just wondering, I know that this is coming to council now because there's an interest, right, of a potential property owner with the apartments, and I was wondering if there was a plan to come to council with a bunch of zoning amendments to reflect the new master plan, or
Yeah, the short answer is yes and yes. Now, my understanding, I conferred with Justin, obviously, before tonight. This has been an open question for a while, just sort of as part of the master plan, just these sort of areas and what do we do in these transitions. Yes, there was some recent interest that helped kind of predicate moving this forward, but it also lined up with what we were trying to bring to you.
Right.
And so, yeah, staff will be bringing, as these things are fleshed out, amendments like this to reflect what's called for in the master plan.
okay.
So I'd move that City Council approve the zoning map amendments to rezone the parcels listed below from R1 single family to R3 single multiple family with the following findings as listed in the packet.
I support.
Moved by Martin and supported by Piana. Now, additional questions or comments, thoughts, concerns?
Just mostly comments of history. Prior to the master plan update, this was zoned as office, and for 5-6 years it was zoned as office. We really didn't get any office hits there because it was too big for office and it was more for office service. And so the zoning was changed to attract more development to fill in the vacant properties. And so I think we're just seeing a reflection of what the market is willing to bear on these properties. So, and rather than coming at the rezoning parcel by parcel, this sort of solves the challenge of this transition area. So a little bit of history there.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Barb, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Leaks May,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Piana,
Yes.
Mayor Coulter.
Yes, thank you. That item is adopted. Thanks,
Thank you.
Jordan. Next item of business is the consent agenda. These are items that council considers routine, and we enact in one motion unless something is pulled by council from the consent agenda. Let me read that now. Item A is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting and work session held September 25th, 2017. But that wasn't actually in our packet, was it? Or,
The minutes?
Yeah.
We're not.
so we should pull this item, correct?
We pull the item and move it to the next meeting.
Okay, that's what we should do. Okay, I thought that was the case. All right, so we're going to pull item A and pend it till the next meeting. Item B is the Wolf River Agreement SWAT training, and just know that council that you have an updated version in your packet that just clarifies some minor editing things, not substantive changes. And then from your original packet. And then C is the approval of the bills and payroll as submitted by the city manager's office and subject to review by the council finance committee. What is council's pleasure on the consent agenda this evening?
I'll move that we accept the consent agenda as amended.
Support.
Moved by Martin and supported by Leaks May. Any discussion on those two items? All right, Barb, would you call the roll, please?
Let's see. Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Piana.
Yes.
Leaks May. Yes. Mayor Coulter.
Yes, thank you. The consent agenda is adopted. We'll move on now to the regular agenda. Item A is the appointment to the BZA of Carly Shapiro. Is Carly here?
Couldn't make it.
Couldn't make it. Okay. Who wants to introduce? Jordan, that would make sense. If you just want to briefly introduce Carly to us, although we have her application as well.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. So Carly came to us very interested. She's been a Ferndale resident for about 2 years. She really wanted to get plugged into the community. She has a background in sociology from the University of Michigan, so I don't know, it's not popular around here, but I think it's cool.
Whatever.
And Masters in Urban Planning from
You're holding
Wayne
against
State
her.
University,
Yeah.
so maybe that's sort of a cooling element there, a little neutral party. But transportation planner at HNTB, she's got a lot of experience that she brings to bear, community engagement and urban planning and transportation. We think she'd be a great voice as an alternate to the BZA.
Awesome. Is there a motion?
I move to confirm the appointment of Carly Shapiro as an alternate to the Ferndale Board of Zoning and Appeals for a term ending December 31st, 2019.
Support.
Moved by Malik May and supported by Martin. Any other comments or questions on that appointment? All right, Barb, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Piana.
Yes.
Leaks May. Yes. Martin.
Yes.
Mayor Coulter.
Yes, thank you. That appointment is adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan. And our second item is the approval of, the purchase of in-car videos and the purchase of body cameras. And Chief Collins is going to, and his posse is going to introduce that item. Chief.
Good evening, Your Honor and Council. This evening, we are requesting to purchase new in-car videos as well as body cameras. Sergeant Andre has been the point person on this project since we have been looking at it for quite some time. So without further ado, we would like to put Sergeant Andre on the spot.
All right.
Don't worry, he is not at all intimidated or worried about speaking in front of large groups.
Pretty sure that's true.
Not quite yet.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh. There we go.
Take care of the technical stuff. So, just real quick, we've been talking about this for probably well over a year.
We have.
Sergeant Andre has done a ton of homework on it. Did a research paper on it for a staff and command class. So I think we've looked at every aspect, and we are ready to move forward. I thought it would be appropriate that we start with our strategic plan, which talks about how the body cameras hit many of the pillars in the 21st century policing. I know we have talked about this the last two budget sessions. It hits on Pillar 1, building trust and legitimacy. Pillar 2, policy and oversight. There's a piece of technology in there because obviously it's a new technology. and it also deals with community policing. But they're really all kind of intertwined together. Like we talked about 2 weeks ago, I've been asked by some of our other deputy chiefs in the area, why we're still going forward with these.
Yep.
And I said, everybody out there is recording us, and I said that we should be recording ourselves as well, just like we're being recorded right now. So I want our
It's
people to
everywhere.
have their point of view
Yep.
memorialized on video, just like it's being memorialized from the outside. So that's one of my biggest arguments when we talk about that to other police officers. I think we can get into the nuts and bolts of the cost, and I'll turn this over to Sergeant Andre.
Great.
So I'll give you a quick breakdown of what we're requesting. The first thing is we're asking for the replacement of 10 in-car video systems. The new body camera system is going to integrate with our in-car systems, so that's why we're asking for 10 of those. And then the 30 BWCs of body-worn cameras, so that'll be for all the officers. The associated software, licensing, and 3-year warranty, so you see the price there. Then...
But let me ask you, I'm sorry,
go ahead. No,
I don't mean to
absolutely.
interrupt you, but
No.
you said for all the officers, but we had sort of talked about this as phasing these in, so.
Yeah, and I have I'll get to that
Okay,
a little bit later,
all right.
what our implementation
I'll
plan
be
is. But
quiet.
yeah, absolutely.
All right.
By all means, jump in. So then we are asking for a new server with software, licensing, and this is to maintain everything that we're going to record. We're going to keep that separate from everything else, so that's why we're asking for that additional equipment.
Yep.
And then we also need redaction computer and software, and I'll explain a little bit later what the importance of the redaction is, so that's why we're asking for that. So that brings our total up, it's $120,846. We are in the process of applying for a federal grant, which should knock $20,000 off that if we are awarded that grant. The original CIP was for $148,000, so we came in underneath that, and if we get that $20,000 knocked off, then it's even better. Further. So I think we're doing a good job with that.
I have a technical
go ahead. No,
question.
yep.
How does the cameras integrate with your in-car camera? How does that function?
And I'll show you a video. Actually, this
Oh.
video here is going to show what all three will show you. But
I'm just going to wait for my question.
Well, no, and this is what we were waiting for. This was kind of the delay. We wanted this system to get up and running so that we wouldn't have to piecemeal it. We could get it all, at one time. And that's what this is. So it'll show you. It's a real quick video, but it'll show the three. You'll get a panoramic high definition from the in-car. The lower left will be regular in-car, and then the body-worn camera, and it all records at the same time.
Have you step right over here in front of my car, please. Keep your hands out of your pockets. Your hands out of your pockets, sir. Well, turn around and face away from me real quick.
Oh, come on,
Go ahead, turn around and face away.
What the?
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
Why
are you doing this? Why? Hands behind your back.
Why?
No.
So on a stop,
Yeah.
anytime it's activated, all three of those will be recording.
Yeah.
That'll all be saved. We'll have all that. That's how it's all integrated. It'll all be on one system. So next thing I wanted to touch on was the bill that was signed in to law in July. And this covers the way we use these body cameras. So a couple of the key points is it limits the release and the disclosure of audio and video that we're recording inside people's homes. Privacy was a big concern. That is addressed with this bill. It also restricts the disclosure of recording retained by law enforcement in connection with an ongoing criminal or internal investigation. So only certain people can get their hands on those things. Victims, someone who's a subject of a recording, attorneys, parents or guardians of juveniles. So it restricts who can FOIA and what they can get. So it maintains the privacy of citizens and the officers. Another thing that it touches on is that it says that the retention of the recordings must be at least 30 days, but you can keep it for longer. And we're kind of working, when we're working with the policy that we're going to put into place, we're working through that, how long we want to keep certain recordings, but it must be at least 30 days. So then it says any recording that's relevant to a formal complaint against law enforcement agency or an officer must be retained for at least 3 years after the date the recording was made. And then it also says that we have to have a written policy in effect once we start using that. So we'll have that in effect. We're working with the unions, and we're pretty close to having that in place. So the redaction, why we're asking for that extra equipment and that software. So we're going to be recording in places that we didn't record before. The car obviously is only recording on the street, certain areas. We're going to be in people's houses, places of business, things that we didn't typically record. It's always on. We're going to be recording juveniles, witnesses, possibly informants, things that we don't want out there. So that's why it's important that we have good redaction software, and that's why we're asking for that additional equipment. And I'll show you two videos here in a second. One's going to show unredacted, and one will show what the redacted video looks like, and it'll show what this software is capable of. This is the first one, about a minute long. It's unredacted, so you see the license plate, you'll see the driver's face, you'll see driver's license.
Whose vehicle is this? It's yours? Is it maybe in somebody else's name? What's that? Your brother's? Okay, but you drive it now? Okay. The plates are expired. Where at? The Holiday. Well, what hotel? There's not a Holiday Inn over there. Hampton Inn? Okay. Is everything okay with your license? Okay. All right, let me run your license real quick. Hang tight.
So video is going to stop when he gets back in the patrol vehicle, and it's only going to show the in-car computer for a brief time right there. But that's also something that we want redacted, because that has sensitive law enforcement information sometimes, and it's stuff that we have to maintain the privacy of. Driver's license, the things you saw on there. So those are all things that we'll want to redact in some of these videos. So this will show, it starts, the license plate's already gone. It'll show, it redacts her face, driver's license, the things that we may or may not want to get rid of in some videos.
Whose vehicle is this?
And you're doing that. You're editing it. You're watching this video and saying...
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll decide what we want redacted. And
Okay.
after the video, I mean, it'll show... I've got a screenshot that shows kind of how we can box out faces and take off. But that's something, we would do, I think, our records. One of our records clerks does it right now, but I think it's... We'll be trained on it, and we'll be able to do all this.
There's not a Holiday Inn over there. Hampton Inn? Okay. Is everything okay with your license? Okay. All right, let me run your license real quick. Hang tight.
So again, that just shows the capability of what we want, and you can see it blurs out the screen there. So those are things that we'll all be able to do. So then here's a screenshot. This is part of the software. So we could isolate those faces and the license plates on both those cars, and anytime they move throughout that video, it's going to keep their faces pixelated like you saw in the other video. Yeah. It's good, very important for us, and again, that's why we're asking for that. Yep. And then, so we plan on deploying it in stages. So the first thing is we're going to have 2 officers per shift assigned the cameras, because we want to work through whatever issues. We don't know what's going to rise yet. We don't know how many FOIA requests we're going to get. We don't know how much storage space we're going to use up. We don't know the wear and tear we're going to put on these things. Best place to put them on the uniforms, things like that. So we want to slowly bring them out. We plan on a 3-month trial period. And if everything works out, the way that we want it to, if everything's going smooth and we have no issues, then we'll do full implementation after that 3-month trial period.
Gotcha.
So,
yes.
Any questions?
Great presentation.
All right, questions?
I just wanted to compliment you. I think this is extremely well vetted, and we've had this discussion for a long time. And I know it's people have strong emotions or feelings about it one way or another, but I appreciate the leadership we're showing by moving forward anyway when other cities have not done that. So my compliments to all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just really great presentation.
Thanks.
And thank you for aligning it to your strategic plan. Very helpful. And I also want to just to give credit to our assistant city manager too, because a lot of these upgrades in service is because we've upgraded our technology, which we couldn't have done without you or with the support of the police department. And so This has been a very long process of making sure we can add these types of services to our organization and provide better service to our residents and visitors of our city. So,
I would like to point out that Joe had nothing to do with this whatsoever.
Kind of a hinge point.
however, a lot of all of your server upgrades that you would have wouldn't be able to handle all of this, right?
If you can't make fun of Joe, there's no reason to even have a conversation. You are correct, Councilwoman.
A couple of just sort of technical questions. You mentioned, figuring out where do you wear these? Because I've seen different pictures. Sometimes they're like here on your chest. Sometimes they're on your shoulder. Is it this particular equipment we're buying? Where do you expect them to at least start out at?
I would think kind of center. Yeah, that seems to be the best place.
Yeah.
Problem is, no matter where you wear it, you're going to have some issues. If it's in front, it can be blocked by all kinds of things. And we're going to run into an issue too. They call the camera perspective bias, because no matter where that is, the officer's looking over here, the camera's looking forward. Right. It's not going to video everything, so we are still going to have blind spots. Yep. The camera's going to pick up things at night that maybe the human eye doesn't see. So we're still going to run into those things, and that's another reason why we kind of want to work through this trial period just to see what these issues are. If wearing it in the center of the chest, the best, maybe up on the lapel here. So that's things we want to work.
Okay.
Through. Yeah.
Does the officer have to turn it on and off, or is it always running?
Yeah, well, he'll have to activate it. There is an ability to record after the fact, which gives you video, no audio, and that works with our in-car cameras right now, too, and it'll be the same thing. But it's limited as to how much gets recorded. It has just I don't know how much space it holds, but, I think it can go back a day, possibly two, just depending how much use that camera has. So you can go back and record. Won't have the audio. You'll have the video. We do have that now, but so to actually activate it, they can activate it, turning it on, hitting their lights inside, hitting the microphone. Anything will activate it manually, but you will have the ability to record after the fact.
But okay, so this is this is just devil's advocate question. But if a cop wanted to do a bad thing,
sure, why
wouldn't they just turn it off?
We'll still be able to go back as long as it's within a certain period of time. You'll be able to go back and record that. Okay. We also are going to have a policy in place that dictates you will activate this.
So that was going to be my next question. What is the policy? How are you going to train people when they should be turning it on and off?
And that's what we're finishing up right now. But absolutely, any contact with the public, it automatically have to go on. And we're already doing that right now with our transmitters for our in-car, that you're to activate that anytime you have any contact with the public, just to get guys used to it.
Yep.
And that's going to be in our policy. That absolutely. We have them. We got to use them. We got to do the right thing. So
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm just adding to his devil's advocate.
Yeah.
There's no way then to manipulate the footage or the feedback.
Not a street officer. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Once you get inside the storage, but there's a what's the word I'm looking for?
Auditability.
Well, you can look. Yeah, there you go. You can audit and see who went in and who did it and manipulated any of the software. But just the average officer on the street, they can't. They can't do anything with it. It downloads through a server, and they have no way to get to that.
So one more thing.
Sure.
All right. So I just also wanted to just thank you guys for initiating this and being willing to do this. Because, of course, we're concerned about the safety of you all and the officers, and we're concerned about the safety of the people out on the road. So thank you for sort of trailblazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
For Ferndale. Thank you.
How long will you save the video for?
Well, and that's something that we're working through. The chief could probably answer that.
We anticipate doing something similar to what we do with in-car video, which is a 90-day absolute. Now, the way that we run things, though, is that's on the server itself. If we see something or one of our officers says, hey, I want that saved, or I think that's important, we move it off of that server and put it onto one of Joe's servers, which he doesn't have access to, and then we save it there. Yeah. So it will automatically fall off at 90 days on routine things, 180 days on arrests and other, we will define that. But that's what we currently do now.
Gotcha.
But if it is an item that is of interest to us, then we will pull it off. Or if there is a complaint, then we have to keep it for 3 years.
Yeah. Excellent. Great. Councilman Pollica, good to see you.
Very good to see you.
We are on, just so you know, we're on a regular agenda item B, in-car videos and body cams in the police department.
So should this pass tonight, when would this go into effect? Like, how soon?
January.
January.
Yeah, we'll
okay.
order them, have everything set up, and in January we'll start with the rollout of the two per shift. January 8th.
January 8th?
Yeah.
Specific?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good, okay.
All right, well, with that, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I move to approve the replacement of 10 in-car video systems, purchase 30 body-worn cameras, server, and redaction computer, including all necessary software licensing and warranty from WatchGuard for a total amount of $120,860.20 out of drug forfeiture account as cited.
Support.
Moved by Piana and supported by Mark. Now, any further discussion, questions, comments?
No, none. I'm excited.
Appreciate it, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Barb, would you call the roll, please?
Council members Martin,
Yes.
Polika,
Yes.
Piana,
Yes.
Leaks May,
Yes.
Mayor Coulter.
Yes, thank you. That item is adopted. And that is our last regular agenda item. So we'll move now to call to council. And so, Chief Collins, while you're standing, anything else for the good of the community this evening?
One quick note that I know it's on the website. We still have several of these left. These are the Ferndale Police pink patches. This will, if you go to several of our downtown businesses, anything that you buy, 10% of that goes to the Gilda's place and for breast cancer. And that was a Sergeant Brownism. I thought it was just very well received. There's still a few left at the desk. This one's my sister's, who is a breast cancer survivor.
Awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
How much are they?
They are free.
Oh, they're free. Okay.
Wow.
Well, you may make it a donation, though. We will
Okay.
accept money,
Yeah.
and that will all go to Gilda's.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Awesome. Chief
And,
Sullivan.
Sergeant,
Go ahead.
Sergeant Andre left already.
He
is
did.
a graduate of Hazel Park High School. So if any of those that are interested, this Friday night at Ferndale High School, it's Ferndale 6-1 against Hazel Park, which are 4-3, and the winner would be the league champion at the high school level. Ferndale High School clinched a position in the playoffs last weekend, and now they want to clinch a position as a league champion since the first time since 1998. So kind of excited.
Since 98. That is awesome. They had a big win over Pontiac on Friday. We need to beat Hazel Park. Awesome. Thanks, Chief. Chief Sullivan, anything from the fire department this evening? All right. Jordan, anything from community and economic development this evening? Nothing. All right. Lorena, anything from the recreation department this evening? I missed it. It's just the chief.
It's just the chief.
Good evening, Council.
evening.
Just a few updates and where we are. We had the Ferndale Fall Festival this past Saturday on October 7th, and it was a success. We had, from my understanding, probably the largest crowd that we've had, if not ever, but for a long time. The weather was perfect. Everything just worked in our favor. And I just want to thank all our volunteers, all the staff, DPW, police, as well as fire for coming out and volunteering and making sure that the kids had a great time and everything just worked out perfectly. I also want to mention, if you haven't been by Harding Park yet, you should go take a sneak peek. There's a lot that has been completed. The MDNR grant work has been 100% completed. The America in Bloom work is basically completed with just a few plantings that need to take place, but all the trees are pretty much planted and everything's done by DPW. And also, we are going to be having an official media event and ribbon cutting on October 22nd for America in Bloom, as well as the MDNR grant. So I want to encourage you all to attend. It'll be at Harding Park at 1:00 p.m. And we're also inviting, again, media and the community to come out as well, just celebrate the ribbon cutting, as well as just being a nice fall event. And then lastly, we have our Little Eagles basketball that Registration is open now, and it's first come, first serve. We're adding a few new additions this year where we're having a sports clinic to actually condition the kids and help them with their skills before the season starts. So the sooner you register will qualify you for that sports clinic because it's first come, first serve. But the season will officially begin in January, but we're taking registrations now. Thank
If
you.
I may, through the chair.
Yeah, please.
I just, two things. One, I heard great things about the Fall Festival. Congratulations. I think it was a huge success. I did get a couple calls from residents about the holiday showcase, though. Are we doing that this year or are we not?
So this year we're going to do Christmas around the world, breakfast with Santa around the world.
Okay.
We won't be doing the holiday showcase this year, but we will plan to do it next year.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
We're going to revamp it a little bit, put a little more energy into it.
Yeah, the attendance was down, I know, the last couple of years. So I was just curious. Thanks.
And through the chair, just regarding the Little Eagles registration, what age is for that? Which age is that?
I believe it's starting. I think we have a U4, so 4 years and up. I'll find out for sure and get you the ages.
And then through the chair, would it surprise anybody? I've already rode my bike on the Harding Park path. It's fabulous, and I've been hearing from residents that they love it. So I look forward to the ribbon cutting and all the other landscaping to go in.
All right, great.
Looks like a little ritual place right now without the landscaping and just the sidewalks.
It'll be coming soon, probably done this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorena. Anything from DPW this evening?
Just a couple quick announcements.
You got to do it up there because folks at home won't be able to hear you from over there.
I can project, though. I don't...
You can.
Right.
We can hear you just fine.
Just a couple quick announcements with the CN Quiet Zones. If you'll notice, Camborne is finally open, so that crossing site is done. There's a couple things to finish up there, as well as with Woodward Heights. And then 9 Mile starts on the 16th of October. That is going to be that work will be done under traffic with no detours, but there will be expected some delays in that area. But we're continuing to move forward with the CN Quiet Zones. That's all from DPW.
Any questions?
If
Yeah.
I may add through the chair, driving home from the airport this evening, I was happy to see that the new 8 Mile entrance is operating for CN, and they have a big sign that says "No CN trucks" right before fare. So
I know
it's moving along.
Very excited about that. Yeah, looks great. Thanks. Other questions? All right, thank you. Kara, anything from community and communications and community engagement?
Hello, just a quick update about leaf pickup. It returns next week. So we have got the website updated with the current schedule and the map so you can find out where you are in the list. That would be ferndalemi.gov/resources/fall-leaf-pickups. It's also right on the homepage with a news story, so it's easy to find if you don't want to go to search for the page itself. So DPW starts next week with the entire city, and then we're going to rotate west starting the week of the 23rd. I'm sorry, east the week of the 23rd, west the week of the 30th, and throughout the month of November. So we've got all the information about how to prepare the leaves. We've got a great video that shows the leaf pickup and the importance of preparing the leaves the right way, not parking on them, all that kind of good stuff. We're also going to have the information, obviously, on all of our social media and on our website, but as well as the Oakland County Times and the Woodward Talk. The Woodward Talk will come with a nice big half-page schedule like it did last year, and it'll run weekly so that people can clip it, hang it on their fridge if they want. We heard a lot of feedback that people thought that was helpful last year. So we've got kind of all of our bases covered. I think that's it.
Questions?
If I may, through the chair.
Palka, yes.
So for several years, I've been encouraging some kind of communication about putting leaves on one side of the street, on the opposite side of the street when there's one side street parking. Because a lot of neighbors see that when they, why are you putting your leaves on my side of the street? So is that going to be included as well? I know it makes it a lot easier for DPW when they don't have to dodge in and out of cars, and it's less likely that people are going to drive over cars, or drive over leaves, or park over leaves, I should say.
So, and Mick, or potentially somebody like maybe Lloyd next time, might speak differently to this. It's not a part of the communications this year, as it was not last year either. Because we have a schedule going now, when we discussed it last year, we thought there wasn't quite the urgency to make sure that we've got, they're not sitting out for 2-3 weeks anymore. Now they're hopefully out only for a couple of days. And so because of that, they didn't think there was the urgency. That's something, though, that we might need to discuss with Lloyd and the team. And if that's an issue, we can absolutely talk about communicating that.
Okay.
Did you? Oh, no. You were just, I thought you were raising your hand or something. Yeah. All right. Other questions for Kara? Thank you. Barb, anything from the city clerk's office this evening?
Just a reminder, the last day to register to vote in the November 7 election is tomorrow at 4 p.m. That's it. Ballots have gone out.
Yes. Thank you. Joe, anything for the city manager's office this evening?
Time is flying.
It is.
Just another reminder that the city manager's office will be issuing a public hearing on October 23rd for the property 221 West Troy Street, which is known as the DOT. The project in the DOT will be presenting the public hearing to City Council on the 23rd. We have submitted public hearing notices as part of the communications plan to Tier 1 residents. That means if you border a parking lot in the downtown, anywhere near the downtown, you've been issued a notice of this public meeting. So again, this is at City Council meeting on October 23rd at 7 o'clock. Just a reminder, we will be presenting the public hearing.
Excellent. Thank you. Dan.
Just a heads up, there will be an ordinance that's brought to the ordinance committee. The state legislature has decriminalized minor in possession of alcohol, made it from a misdemeanor down to a civil infraction, and a draft of that, it actually is effective midnight tonight. And so a draft ordinance amendment will be provided to the ordinance committee for first offense.
I did not hear that.
I had not
That's
heard that
interesting.
either.
Wow, that slipped by.
That's surprising.
First through.
Interesting from this legislature. Okay. Thank you. Councilman Martin?
Yes, a couple things. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I encourage you to go to the Chamber's website. There's two things going on. One, this Friday is a euchre tournament at the Ferndale Elks. So I'd encourage you to go register there, buy tickets. There was a euchre tournament 2 weeks ago. Yeah, for the community concert band, and I went, and it was an absolute blast. So even if you're not at your best at euchre, it was a lot of fun, and I think this one will be too. Also on the website is a survey called Best of Ferndale. So I'd encourage people to go out there and they can select their favorite place to eat, to drink, to which park is the favorite one. And there's also this great category called Lifetime Achievement Award. And I think it's great that both our police chief and our mayor are old enough to be nominated for a Lifetime Achievement Award.
I voted for the chief.
I voted for the chief too, in transparency. But I'd encourage folks. It's a fun thing to go out and celebrate really what's best of Ferndale, and those recipients will be recognized in November. Lastly, the Arts Commission has an event on Sunday, August 15th at Salon Sunday at the newly renovated Dino's Lounge. The performers are called Three of a Kind, and the festivities start at 6 p.m. And that's always a great crowd and a good time on a Sunday evening right before you head back to the work week. So,
What month you said August?
no, I'm sorry, no, October.
October.
What are we in? It's not August.
Right.
Yeah, October.
October. Okay.
Thank you.
15th?
15th.
15th.
Sunday the 15th, 6 o'clock, Dino's.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Leaks May?
No, nothing tonight.
Nothing tonight. All right. Councilman Pollico, welcome back.
Thank you.
How was New York?
New York was fantastic.
Great.
It's one of my favorite places.
Me too.
But it's always good to be home.
Awesome.
And I'm good. I'm glad to be home.
Awesome.
So, fortunately, I do not have anything to share this evening.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Piana.
Nothing for me this evening.
All right. I just want to thank my colleagues who came out to the South Oakland County Mayors Association dinner that we had, and we heard from a presenter from the what am I trying to say?
Meteorologist?
A meteorologist from the
National Organization. NOAA.
NOAA.
And he tracks, yes, and he tracks climate change. And if you want to know, this winter is supposed to be average temperatures and above average precipitation. Take it for what it's worth. That was one of many takeaways from that event, but it was really nice, and it was at the Rust Belt, which is always a great host for events like that. So thanks to all the folks at the Rust Belt for doing that as well, and for Michael Larry for putting the event on in Ferndale this year. And with that, our meeting is adjourned.